Ujo anin, dine magnetuk, Nii Gaani Aki Inini, Dishnikas, Kinyo, Dotem, Sagkeeng Donji, Anishinaabe People. We see today the reality that we live, the impacts that genocide has had on our people. Like as human beings, we always try to find a way to deal with the hurt, the pain, the grief, and certainly the trauma that we continue to experience, because we find ourselves to continue to live in an environment of marginalization, that we're not recognized as human beings, that we have a way of life, we have an understanding of our relationship that we should have with what our people have always believed in was a higher power that we call the Creator, the Great Spirit. Many will even say the Great Mystery. Because we don't have the intellectual capacity to be able to understand the fullness of the Great Mystery, the Great Creator. Technology today that has been able to capture images of the universe, even the images of pictures that they've been able to see for those that have traveled, beyond the earth, and we see a very clear picture of our home, from the distance from the sky itself, and those pictures, can give us perspective that our great Creator created the universe, created everything that we see around us and even beyond and what we can see. As Indigenous people, we've always had that understanding of the greatness of the Great Spirit and what He has been able to create. And if we're going to understand who we are as a people, we have to understand our own beginnings and our own creation stories. And what we have in today's world, particularly amongst our young people, is that they don't have their spiritual identity of who they are. So we have an identity crisis in our communities because we've not been taught about the true history of our origins as a people. And if we're going to be able to tackle some of these challenges, such as addictions, we have to listen to what the knowledge keepers of our nations have always encouraged us to do, was that we have to go back to the beginning. And for our people, when we hear the elders say that we have to go back to the beginning, it is in the context of creation, of our own individual spirit that is inside each of us. And the old people, they say to us, translated, it means the most important part of our being is the spirit. Because it's the spirit that offers our identity and who we are as human beings. It is our spirit that holds the knowledge of our gifts, because each and every one of us have been given a gift that we could use in our life that would give us purpose and meaning in our life. And if we look at the way that we are living today, we are continually encouraged to assimilate into another society that has no understanding of who we are, no appreciation of a people that have been here for tens of thousands of years, evolving with an understanding of our relationship that we should have with the Great Spirit, have no understanding of the relationship that we should have with the land, and we have no understanding of the relationship of the Spirit that we call the grandfathers that sit in the four directions, that are there to to offer us guidance and direction in our life. So that is what the elders are talking about when we talk about going back to the beginning. It's about identity. It's about spirit. I remember times that I've been in ceremonies of our people. Someone would go to an elder and for help that they would need in their own challenges in life. And the true healers of our people would say, "Kitan na pochigan." And what that means, the elders said, "Do you have a dream?" And I heard in the ceremony this one individual say, "I do not have a dream." And the elder said, "That's your problem. You don't have a dream. Because your dream is supposed to help you to have meaning to your life, that would give you purpose to your life." And if we look at many of the challenges that young people are faced with today, first of all, they're not encouraged to seek out their spiritual identity and who they are as a beautiful people. And going back to the beginning is recognizing the importance and the significance of that element of life that we call spirit. That's what the elders had meant, that the most important part of our being is the spirit, because it is what offers us the knowledge and the understanding of the beginning of our own life and where did we come from. If we stop and reflect on what the ancestors have left us, we can begin to learn about that way of life that our ancestors had lived and survived by for tens of thousands of years. There's a sacred site here in this part of the world that our ancestors left a very sacred place for us. Today our people, know it as Manitoapi. Translated is where the Creator sat. And what that means is that is where the Spirit, had arrived from our creation. That there is a term that our people describe our entrance in spirit into the womb of our mothers. It is a place that the people call Pagonegijik. Pagonegijik means, the hole in the sky, the entrance of that spirit, that had arrived from the spiritual realm. How did we come into this world? How did the first Anishinaabe arrive here in this world for us to grow to be the people that we are? We had to come from somewhere. And it was through the great vision of the Creator that the Creator had a vision of a beautiful people that we call Anishinaabe people. What I'm about to share is what has been shared to me from Spirit, from the sacred site of our people, is where the teaching of our creation as a people had been shared by the ancestors. And in each of us, there is a shining blue light that is in the essence of every living entity that has been created and born from the earth itself. There's a shining blue light in a beautiful eagle that gives it its identity on how to be an eagle. The beauty, that we see in an eagle, which has become a very important symbol to our teachings and to our laws as people. And that shining blue light came, and the old people say it came from the heavens. It came from the sky. It came from beyond our own physical understanding. What I am sharing is something that you have to feel within your heart, that what I'm telling you is you feel it to be true or not. That is the way of the teachings of our elders, is to come within the environment of the lodges, to be able to hear the teachings so that they can be transferred from spirit to spirit, from heart to heart. That is why we are an oral people. As that shining blue light came from this higher realm of spirit, of where many of our people say we sat with the Creator and asked for the blessing to come and walk the human life. And we chose to be the people that He would put and geographically put in this part of Mother Earth that we call Turtle Island. And He gave us teachings, He gave us laws, He gave us a way of life in a complete way that we didn't need to go somewhere else to seek an understanding of a good way of life. We were given this Mino Pimatiziwin, a good way of life. And that good way of life is inclusive to the elements that are the roots of life itself. We were given a way of life that is shared in ceremony. Ceremony for our people is absolutely critical in staying in close connection with the Spirit, where we light the sacred fires that acts as a doorway for the Spirit to come within our presence, to bring the teachings that we need. Because the higher level of intelligence is not within man's institutions of learning, but rather within the spiritual realm itself that hold the knowledge that can help us to reach our greater understanding and purpose as human beings. We had to be brought into this world in the most natural way. We didn't just pop out of the sky. There's very unique, distinctive way that we entered into this world, and it had to be natural. And the Creator had a vision of the red man. And what He did is He put the vision of the red man within the berry of a plant. And the animal that would be chosen to give birth to the red man was the bear. We are the people of the bear. Over many, many thousands of years, that spirit of that vision of the red man would grow within the bear itself. And eventually the bear would give birth to us. We were born from the bear. We had to come in the most natural way. And the order of creation, begins with the creation that the Creator had a vision of the earth. Then there was water, there was plant, and there was animal. That's within the entrance that we come into this human world, that plant was born from the earth and the land itself. As people, we were very, very connected to Spirit, because that is where we came from. We were born from Spirit, and when we have lived our purpose in this human life, our spirit returns back into the spiritual realm. And we understand that spiritual realm in the relationship that we have in ceremony with our ancestors. And they say within that spiritual realm, there is a central sacred fire where the past visionaries, prophets, and knowledge keepers of our people sit around the fire, and they try to find a way to come to reach us, to come and guide us out of this darkness that we're living in today's world that has been created by negative values. One of the most negative values is that man believes that he can control the earth, that he can control nature, that he can do whatever he wants to the land, and we see it every day, where man, is out of control with his value of greed, thinking and not knowing that Mother Earth is a living entity. She is alive just as much as you and I are sitting here today. And that has always been the understanding of our people, to know that the earth was alive, that she gave birth to all of us, because in truth we are all children of the earth. We've all been born from the earth. Since the beginning of creation, when our first Anishinaabe was lowered from the sky, there was many, many bears that were eating the plant in order to evolve to be the people that we are. That is why many of us are, have such a close relationship with the bear. We are to greet the bear when the bear arrives in the spring and say, "Grandfather, what vision do you have for us that will help us in today's world?" What an awesome, profound relationship to have with the animals. Because we look at the animals, that are chosen, that have been selected by the Creator to represent the teachings of our people. The laws that are to act as the foundation of how we should live, are based on 7 teachings. And I'll say them really quickly. Like the first teaching was the teaching of respect by the buffalo. What does respect mean? Very simply, respect means to give, and to give, and to give, and never stop giving. Like the buffalo had never stopped giving of its whole being. The world needs to know how to give and how to share. To give is to be able to serve the will of the Creator, to be an instrument of the will of the dream of the Creator, that we would become an instrument, a voice, and filled with action in bringing love and kindness into this world. That's that buffalo, the buffalo. And then we have the eagle that I shared earlier. The eagle is a symbol of love. And what have we done, to that teaching and that law as human beings, that law has become so misunderstood that people don't know the real power and the essence of the deepness of love. And we will never know the greatness of that feeling of what love is until we know and feel the Creator. Because everything that we have been given that is good comes from that higher power of the Creator. It's the essence of that unconditional love that the Creator created life itself. Everything that we see has that essence and that spirit. That shining blue light is an essence of the love of the Creator that gave its dream to be what they should be, a tree, an animal or whatever, and a human being. But the love. And they say that we can never be leaders until we're able to love the Creator. Until we can able to love ourselves, like who we are. Are we proud when we wake up in the morning and go to the mirror? God, I just love who I am. I'm Anishinaabe. I love it. I love it. Can we say that in all honesty and feel it in our heart that I am proud, that I love who I am? Because we cannot give love to anyone if we cannot begin to love ourselves and who we are in our own identity. How can we give love if we don't even know who the Creator is, if we don't feel the love of the Creator? And the best that we can do as human beings to know the Creator is to feel the Creator in your heart. You cannot intellectualize who the Creator is. People will have many descriptions of who the Creator, and it usually comes in as a man, but that is so far from the truth. Who is the Great Spirit? The Great Spirit is everything, whatever that is. It's not identified as one part of life itself, but it's everything. God, Creator, is everything. So that eagle, is so important. When we talk about the third law of the teaching of courage, again we go back to the bear. And this is if I can say anything here today to help those that are fighting addiction, you need the bear more than ever to help you overcome this urge, of addiction. You call on the grandfather bear that carries and brings this law of courage. To know and live courage is to be able to do the right thing in your life. Taking drugs and alcohol is not the right thing to do. And that bear, is always there. And if one, particularly whenever we are confronted with challenges like addiction, anger, all of these things are in opposition of spirit. You say, you take a run to the bush, take some tobacco, and say, Grandfather, help me, I'm weak here. I just see these drugs or this, and I'm being pulled that way. Grandfather, pull me back. Help me to come back. That offers an opportunity and hope. What the people need is hope. That there is help that is there, for us to overcome anything or challenges that we may have in life. There's hope, and it's a spirit that gives us hope. So that bear, can be called upon. Say, Grandfather, I really need some help. To speak to the Spirit in a humble way, to reach out that way. And then we have the teaching of the one that we call the Sabe, that teaches the law of honesty. Be honest to the Creator. Be honest to yourself. Be honest with the grandfathers that you're talking to and say, Grandfathers, I am so weak. Grandfathers, I need your help. Be honest with how you're feeling. And if sometimes we need someone to talk to, because it's not good to hold things inside and not being able to share them and express them. Because if you don't express them, they're going to grow, and you're not going to feel good. You've got to be able to release anything that, that affects your immune system. To know that sabe is there, to be honest, is very important in life. And we begin that honesty by being honest with ourselves. Are we really being honest and living our way of life as a people, or are we imitating someone else because we don't feel that it's good enough to be Anishinaabe? And the old people always remind us, the Creator gave us everything we needed to have a good life. Are we honest enough to be able to admit that we have been given a full way of life? So that sabe is important. Again, for those that are struggling with addiction, you need someone that you could talk to, that you can trust. And particularly, you need someone that is honest. Whenever somebody says, there goes an honest person, you're attracted to that person. Somehow you're attracted to that person because they're honest. And you're more willing to share what you're feeling with an honest person because you know that they're going to respond to try to help you, not to hurt you. They'll always try to find a way. Because that essence of that honesty, to keep your word. And then we have the law of wisdom that is represented by the beaver, which is the most misunderstood teaching of wisdom. To know wisdom is to know that you have a gift or gifts, and those gifts were given to you to serve and create a better world. You may be a gifted singer, so that gift does not belong to you, it belongs to the people. So you go to the drum and you sing and learn the songs of your ancestors. And as you sing on that drum, you're serving the will and the plan, of the wish of the Creator, that the people hear the songs of their people, that the songs bring the people together. So to know wisdom is to know your gifts and to use them for the benefit of the people, of the nation, of the world. You serve, you see yourself and say, I know my gift. And everybody's got a gift. There's not one that's been denied that. The Creator wouldn't just choose a certain people and say, you're the only ones I'm going to give gifts to. It's not like that. Because again, the Creator is an unconditional spirit of love. So love all of creation. And the sixth teaching is represented by the wolf that we call humbleness, to be humble. To be humble is to know that there is no inferior in race, that we're all connected and we're all loved in the same way through the great love of the Creator. No one is better and no one is lesser. But we live in a world today so divided, so divided by many things. We're divided, we're separated. Even amongst ourselves as a people, we struggle to try and find that spirit of unity amongst our people. We become so colonized, we become so assimilated. And our struggle today is to break away from that assimilation and to find ourselves again, as a people. And to be humble is the way I've always experienced the elders of our people. They're with the people and they know they have a role, to be teachers of that knowledge and that wisdom that people need to hear. And it is said that in the natural world, if you come walking down the trail somewhere and then you happen to meet a wolf, that wolf will stop and bow its head, not because it's afraid of you, because it's humbled of the presence of a human being. We live in a world today filled with so much arrogance. There's no humbleness when you think that you can control the world, when you can control another human being. And finally, the law of, that is carried by the grandmother turtle. And we happen to be in a lodge, that the spirit of the grandmother turtle had given and sent to us to create a place where we come to learn about who we are as a people. This is a place where identity is shared through ceremonies, stories, and teachings and all of those things that you're not going to find anywhere else, because this is the place of our people. This is our higher place of learning, who we are as a beautiful people. And that grandmother turtle, they say was there in the beginning when the laws were given, and being reminded again by the animal world of the teachings that the Creator had given us and that grandmother turtle was sitting there. And if you look at the existence of the turtle in the physical world, she's been here a long time, and she's always carried the memory of those teachings. They're saying Mother Earth is going to give birth to a new life, and that birth of the new life has to come from within us, to support the new life that Mother Earth is going to regenerate herself and bring balance back, to a world that man has almost destroyed. And this is where Indigenous people are so important, is that we can, we can be and should be the leaders in our own homeland. They can't take that away from us, because we've been here for tens of thousands of years, evolving with a leadership that has been ignored, that has been put down, and they did everything to destroy our identity of leadership and the knowledge that we hold as a people. We can't find ourselves stuck at the level of being a victim. I think that what we have, and what still remains, of the knowledge that are held by the knowledge keepers is enough to get us going again, and to restore and revive that spirit that is inside of us, and reclaim our full right to be who we are. And until that happens, we're going to continue to find ourselves facing these challenges like addiction. I kind of went a long way around here to try to give some perspective of the challenge of addiction, that we face every day in our communities. There is so much happening in our communities right now, and the rise of suicide amongst our people, particularly the young people. How do these so-called Western therapists even come to relate, to have an understanding of who we are? How could they? They can't address identity. So it's got to be our own people that have to be in a position, to be able to share the knowledge and the understanding that will help the people heal. The Creator will provide everything that we need in order to restore what was taken away. We have to be strong enough to walk the good path that the Creator had given us, in non-violence, non-confrontation, non-protest, but rather following the spirit of the heart. That's why in ceremony we always acknowledge Mother Earth, and we say, Miigwech, Kitigo, Miteake, Emijang, Miwe Wisene, when Nipe Miskik Yan Boskeji Knamaoyang, Anichipmadzia. Mother Earth, you give us the food, the water, the medicines, and the teachings on how we should live and behave and walk as human beings. What a profound understanding that we have. There's no reason for us to continue to suffer. Everything is there for us, to have a good life that the old people talk about. And it's all there. It's all there for us. But what it means, we have to go beyond, this environment that has been created that we call dependency. We depend on everything from outside of us. Oh, the government's going to take care of us. Oh, the chief and council are going to take care of us. That's a dependency. It is only, when we come to understand spirit, that Mother Earth will provide the abundance that we need to live. Because the land is full of abundance. As much as they've damaged the earth, everything is there for us to be able to live. And we have to make some efforts within ourselves to claim our own sovereignty as a people. And for those, that are challenged with addiction, I want to say to each of you, you have everything that you need to heal. And that healing comes from the land. That healing comes from the ceremonies of your people that can give you the teachings and the stories that will help you to find yourself, because that's the challenge. Do you know who you are? That alcohol is absolutely in total opposition of our spirit. We can't handle it because it's against the spirit of who we are. We are a spiritual people. And a spiritual people means that we don't do things like that. We drink natural medicines. That's what we drink. And right now, because of the challenge of the pandemic, we need to really make sure we drink a lot of natural medicine to strengthen the immune system in us. Because once the addiction goes into the body, it takes time to get rid of it. It just doesn't go away. And again, our people say to us, if you want to heal, call on the grandmother moon. make a commitment every 30 days. Say, grandmother, I don't want to be addicted anymore, help me. And if you're able to complete those 13 months, then after the 13 months, that addiction will be taken totally away. But you have to make the effort for 13 months. Because we came here with a purpose, and that purpose is universal to all of life. The human life was put here to come and bring love into this world, to manifest that love that we've been born from, to bring love and peace to the world. That's why we are so important in today as Indigenous people, because we have the teachings and the understanding